Hello and welcome to my channel. So for November I got 4 subscription boxes. ScrawlrBox is technically the October box, but being in the US it arrives in November. So I'm going to go over what came in each box, what the price comparisons of them were, and then at the end I'm going to rank them at which one was my favorite and most worthwhile for the month. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, for this month, the first one that I was looking at was the ArtSnacks one. And even though the SketchBox arrived the night before, I just ended up deciding to play with this box first. The only thing missing is the Derwent water brush. I happened to use it earlier and I'm letting it dry out just because when I put it in storage I try to have them dry so that the brushes stay nicer. That's what I found works well with my other ones, so it's currently drying, but other than that, this is everything including this Dr. P.H. Martin's. Anyway, so yeah, I'm recording this after just using the box. Normally I let it sit for a couple days, but I think I have my opinions a little bit formed on this one. So we had these Caran d'Ache awesome I don't even know what to call them. I want to keep on calling them crayons. They're water-soluble wax pastels. I really like them. They are, I think, a similar principle to these and the Marabu art crayons. Similar principle, different quality. You can feel the difference in quality. So yeah, that is really awesome. One of my favorite things of this box. I will say that I found a new favorite thing. These gelatos, I've been waiting to try these out, and in all honesty, I'm a little bit sad about them. I'm not sure if it's these colors or I just need to try them in a different thing, maybe. But I think when I was swatching, this buttercream color barely showed up when I tried adding it to the piece, how I've seen other people use the gelatos of just taking a brush and rubbing on it. There wasn't a lot of pigment that came off. So this is going to be something that I am going to have to look into and really think about because it didn't quite go as planned. As for this, our orange product, it was awesome. I created this neon color. This was the piece I created, just a cartoony a painted bat, which painted bats are real. That's a real type of bat. The cartoon face and the body was a little bit cartooned up. So anyway, so you can see with the different browns and stuff that was all used with the Caran d'Ache. And then in the wings, it had a great variation from this dark to a watered down one. So that was really awesome just to get the differences in the colors, and I really enjoyed it. Honestly, I don't think I have enjoyed an ArtSnacks box this much at all. Last month getting orange was an insane highlight, but it was still like, okay, a bunch of liners, okay. This was a lot of variation. If I were to use these other things, I'd probably use another liner, adding some more black and grays. Like, I was in a good mood, so that's where this came out, really colorful. That is my normal state of mind, super colorful. So it was perfect for the day I was having. Anyway, so looking at the numbers, this is where things get slightly disappointing. So I paid $48.99 for this box. If everything was full price where I looked for it, it would have been a good value. Except for one thing. I'll explain that in a second. So ArtSnacks valued it at $64.02. Going by Faber-Castell's website for the 2 gelatos, it would actually be less for the wholesale. So for these specific color gelatos on Faber-Castell's site are $2.45 each. ArtSnacks valued them at $2.85. I know a lot of times ArtSnacks does the wholesale value, but oof, that one's a little high. That's ends up being 80 cents, but it sort of rubbed me the wrong way when I saw that, when I could go to the Faber-Castell website and get a better price. So yeah, that a little bit bugged me. The Caran d'Ache, I've seen some sales on this. The Phil Martins were like the sale that I did see were 13 cents cheaper. So that was pretty on target. The paper, I also found a sale. The Derwent brush, I also found a sale. Again, if you've never heard of Blick, that's where a lot of times I find the cheapest prices. For this month, it wouldn't have made a difference because Blick and Amazon were pretty close to each other. So ArtSnacks valued it at $64.02. The lowest value I found was $47.10. The highest value I found was $55.44. So yeah, if I got everything on sale, which is how I would shop, I would have lost $1.89 to going through ArtSnacks. Personally, getting a subscription box, I'm also paying for being introduced to new supplies to be able to sample 2 things I've been looking at for a while now was amazing. So I can appreciate that. And being introduced to something that's really cool. I can see very limited use. To be honest, I love orange, but just the type of orange, I'm going to be very picky with how I use that orange. It's not my universal orange. So was ArtSnacks worth it this month? For me, for the fact that I got to try some new things that I've been wanting to try, yes, it was worth it. For someone else who's trying to get the best value for their money, period, no. It wasn't worth it. Okay. I will also do a little conclusion at the end, but until then, on to the next box. So SketchBox was the first one to arrive, but because I didn't know what to do, it ended up being the second video I made. So there was these Kuretake
watercolors and this palette. And the one thing about the palette was it can move. A lot of people compared it to a CD case, which not necessarily good. And they're not as deep as they might look at first glance. So there's this. There is the Sparks Wisteria watercolor pigment. Also had some Hanamula paper, which was a tone gray. And unless it's next to like a white, it's a little hard to tell. Then we also got a B Koh-i-Noor pencil. These are from Archer. Wait, no. Yep, Archer and Olive acrylograph markers. Someone in one of my videos commented that they are a lot of times for journaling and a more expensive company. And then we have this travel watercolor brush, which for me was sort of cool. I have a system set up to take water with me, so I don't have to worry about trying to carry the water in the brushes. So for me, that's not that big of a deal. It just didn't hold a lot of water. Here is the sticker featuring the water brush. And also we have the artwork from the box. And then we have my artwork that I did. And here's the list of all the supplies and everything. So overall, these watercolors, I think I have to try working with them a little longer to really pass judgment on them, because it was a little bit iffy. This stuff I absolutely loved, and I want to get more of them because it was just fun squirting it on the page, and then you can do a couple cool effects with them. So I really want to get more of that. These, meh, nothing really special about them. Pencil, nothing special about it. Paper, I like having some watercolor paper that's toned. That was really cool. And I mean, I don't know if you can really tell it. It's not showing up well in my current lighting. But yeah. Anyway, it was really awesome to be able to use it. I mean, I don't know if you can see that spot right there. I put the white acrylograph on top. And so in person you can see it. So there is a difference. But when it really came down to it, two things out of everything else. Oof. SketchBox, I'm slightly disappointed with this month. Anyway, when you go look at the numbers, it was frustrating trying to look up the numbers, especially when you keep on getting custom things. And when you have two custom things, that's what makes it really difficult to calculate. So, excuse my computer for interrupting me. So basically, the subscription's price is $40, including shipping, as long as you're in the US. SketchBox valued this one at $46.43. So many times, the companies value it a lot higher and then it's a lot lower. The interesting thing of this one was nearly everything I looked up was close to full price. So when I calculated it, It ended up being $42.24. So it was a decrease, but not that much of a decrease. The biggest decrease was actually these acrylograph pens, and I think I found them on their website cheaper. I think that's what happened, but that was the only decrease. So at least I can say I feel like I got my money worth when I got this box, but overall I feel like it was still a little bit lacking. Okay, let's move on to the next one. The next one that arrived was Paletteful Packs, which in all honesty was slightly frustrating when it arrived, because it arrived the day before they posted the contents little sheets where we can read what everything is and all the exact specs and everything. So I got the box on Monday. That wasn't posted till Tuesday, so I didn't know what any of the prompts were. And then on top of it, I want to look at what the petite box was like before they post it. I mean, before I post this, so that I can compare and say, oh, what do I think the bigger box was more worth it than the smaller box then? Jeez, yeah, not entirely sure. Anyway, it was the 5th anniversary of the Paletteful Packs. So what was considered the box's contents? I'm stressing this because there's going to be a value difference. Was the Amsterdam acrylics, 6 tubes of 20 milliliters. There was a palette knife, this brush, a Posca pen, and then there were some art boards by Crescent, and then we also had a canvas, which I've been reorganizing the studio, so the canvas got put in with the rest of the canvases. Anyway, this is the artwork that I made with it. Almost all of it was made using the palette knife. Just this, supposed to be glow around the mountains, was used with the brush. And then the dark purple dots were the Posca pen. So, yeah. Positives of this box was the fact that I got to try something I probably wouldn't have tried otherwise. So, yeah. I just don't use acrylics that much anymore. Aside from Posca pens. Just after an incident in middle school, I just have been going more to watercolors. And then, yeah, it was very interesting. On top of this, there was the replacement fine liner from last month's box that was faulty. So that can't really be counted towards the full price of the box. And then the last thing was, hold on a second. Okay, so the last thing was for its Paletteful Packs 5th anniversary was this pencil case, which the reason I had to run and get it was for the fact that I sort of put my stuff for my bullet journal in there. Anyway, but the issue was they didn't count it towards the value of the box. And this is what's going to come into play, because honestly, for the amount that you pay for the box, oof, I wish I would have gone with the petite. With the petite, you would have gone these paints, these, just smaller boards and a smaller canvas. The only thing you wouldn't have gotten was the Posca pen, which, in all honesty, I have other Posca pens. That's not the biggest deal in the world. You still got the same size of this. It just, value-wise, all the value was in the petites. They didn't add anything by making it the bigger box, in my opinion. So, yeah, I'm going to do one more month of Paletteful, but it's going to be the petite. I am not spending that much on the full Paletteful Packs. Anyway, so the subscription, including shipping, was $40. They put the value at $66.68. Now, as I've said in other videos, it depends where you look to try to get these supplies. The range that I found for these supplies was between $35.95 and $38.99. Even if I went with the more expensive option of a couple of them, the value is still lower than what I paid for it, which irks me. I'm okay if it comes in about the same. That I'm okay with, because in my brain, I'm also paying for the curation of it. But when the fact that it was under really bugs me. To be honest, for it to be the same, worth it. Like, you'd have to count this towards the price. But they said without that, the value was $66.68. So that's what really bugs me. Because if you added the value of, let's say, $5 for this, it could break even. I was not really a fan of it. I mean, this just seemed a little bit excess, because I was reading the description and this top part is 22 karat gold plated. Part of my brain was just like, that's not necessary. And I ended up not using the brush. I just used another acrylics brush. So, yeah, the only thing I'm really happy about was I tried using a palette knife for the first time. And I had some more acrylics, so I could try more acrylics, because the only acrylics I've tried recently, besides Posca pens, were the golden fluid acrylics. So, yeah, I'm just disappointed with this one. Okay, on to the next one. Okay, so the last one that decided to arrive was ScrawlrBox. I think it was a pretty awesome box, and I'm really happy about it. So we had this marker pad. Here's the sticker for it. You always get a zine with different hints and stuff. Here's the artwork. And we have the menu, and the theme was Out of the Lamp, which I thought was a really fun theme. In it, we got a Faber-Castell kneadable eraser, which, funny enough, I had the exact same one, so I just used mine from the box, and I put the other one where I store my extra erasers until I need them. This Unipen fine line. This Faber-Castell Tri-Grip. It's called Tri-Grip 2001, which maybe they came up with it in 2001. I thought the texture was going to be different. And then 3 Copics. 3. Last time I got a Copic in a box, I only got 1, which was annoying because that was the only alcohol-based product in the entire box. So entire box, and the only alcohol-based product was the Copic, so it didn't really go with the rest. So compared to that box, which was ArtSnacks, and up in the corner I'll put a card so you know what video and what month if you're curious. So yeah, that was a disappointment when they only had one in that box. But look at this, ScrawlrBox had 3. And for the fact that when I put it through the conversion to get a Copic in the UK, was about $13.48 versus if I go to Michael's and I want a Copic sketch, it's $7.99. Granted, if you go to Blick and order from there, it's cheaper at $5.85, but that's a little bit different. But I mean, for the fact that it even costs more in the UK, that is amazing. And here is the picture I did with it. I'm not the best with alcohol markers, and I'm working on it, so yeah, it didn't quite end up as good as I was hoping it would. Honestly, the pumpkin's the best part, and that's about it. But looking at the numbers, oof, I love ScrawlrBox, but I think it's becoming an issue shipping to the US. Partly because I just am on pins and needles waiting for it to arrive. I almost recorded this video with my own Copics as a display thing and equivalents just so that I could compare the values. But it barely arrived yesterday, so I was really happy to get it, but oof, it was cutting it close. But beyond just the waiting for it, especially with all the shipping issues we're starting to have, the adding the shipping price is a little bit of an issue. So ScrawlrBox, if you live in the UK, is only £16.95. Because it has to ship to the US, it adds on another £7, which is $33.30. Yes, it costs less than the full versions of a lot of the other boxes. But when they value it as £38.08, which converts to $51.40, it sounds pretty good, but you have to think they're also basing it on UK prices. And as I've seen some people comment, the UK prices is often higher than the US for art supplies. So when you looked to it, if you went to Blick for very cheap Copic markers, the value of the box was only $28.57. If you wouldn't shop at Blick for the Copic markers, which I probably wouldn't, my Copics all came from Michael's so far, the value is $36.47. So, yeah, that shipping cost is a little bit becoming a negative to me. And which is really sad because I love the variety that ScrawlrBox has. So, yeah. That's just a little bit my issue with it right now. It's just that shipping and waiting and no tracking, so I never know when it's going to get here. The contents are always awesome, but oh boy, those other things. That's half the reason I spoil it for myself is because it could be an extra week or it could be an extra month. I've heard of some people having it take 2 months to get to them. And 2 months and not getting spoiled is a long time. So I just spoil it for myself. Anyway, that's rants over. ScrawlrBox, if you're patient and the extra for shipping doesn't bother you, majority of the time when I've calculated it, their value is higher than what it takes to buy it. So do keep that in mind. All right, now on to final thoughts. Okay, final rankings. If you agree with me, okay, we are the same mind. If you don't agree with me, I'm sorry, this is my personal opinion. I have redone this now the 3 times because I can't decide where I would rank all of them. And I just rearranged them again. So I'm going to tell you which one I thought was the best for this month and which I thought was the worst. And to start it off, at the worst is Paletteful Packs. So the reason I thought it was the worst was because purely the fact that the value of it came so much farther under what it really was, and it just bugged me. And all honesty, I was just like, I paid this money for a curated box, and a part of me felt like I almost wasted money if it wasn't for the extra pencil case. That's what it's called, the extra pencil case. I would have been very upset with that little. Also, I decided for this video, I'm going to show which were my favorite items of the box. And so for Paletteful Packs, it was the palette knife. The thing I loved about Paletteful Packs is it got me to try something new. I was very happy about that, and I can't wait to use the palette knife again, but yeah, that was my highlight. And for everything else, the highlight was not a tool to make the art, it was what gave it pigment. So yeah, that was hard. That's hard to say, but like, my favorite thing, palette knife. Normally it's pigments and stuff, but anyway, the next one is SketchBox. Oh gosh, SketchBox. I think it wasn't a value thing. I liked the paper. It was just the issue of the fact that those paints, I don't know. Maybe it's me, maybe it's the paints. I don't know. So anyway, it just ended up not being a fun box for me. The only thing I really liked was this Wisteria Color Sparks. Again, pigment. That was really awesome. Honestly, if they had a box full of those, it would have been an awesome box. Or even a couple of them. It would have been really cool. It just, especially with the theme of urban drawing. It's supposed to be drawing on location, and for November, I'm sorry, but November, I don't want to be out for a long time doing that. So it was a little bit theme, didn't match the month that it was sent. This, I love it. It didn't match the paints. This didn't match the theme color-wise. So yeah, it was just a little mismatchy. So it sort of hurts for SketchBox to be so low, especially because it was one of my first boxes and I really have loved all the rest of them. Anyway, the next one is ScrawlrBox. So ScrawlrBox, the only way that edged out these two was the fact that its negative was the shipping aspect. Everything else was positive. It's just the fact that it's shipping from the UK, and that's not their fault. It's the fault that I live in the US. So for that, the issue, again, it's nothing from the company, it's just the location. And my favorite item was the pencil. Just kidding. It was the Copics. I thought it was really awesome to get 3 Copics in a box. Honestly, if I would have gotten a box when it was supposed to be my first Copic ever in a box, and they gave me 3, I would have been ecstatic. This was so good. It would be such an awesome introduction to the more expensive alcohol markers. It was amazing. It was well put together. Would I have changed the shades of the Copics a little bit? Yeah. I think a little less saturated blue and red would have been easier to mix colors with the yellow. So that's something that I wish it would have been. Just the more balance for mixing, but again, my biggest issue was the shipping. And I can't believe I'm saying this. I am truly shocked. ArtSnacks won. ArtSnacks won. I'm shocked, to be honest, but ArtSnacks did pretty well. My negatives of it were the gelatos. They were basically useless, and if I had gotten the basic box, ArtSnacks would have been over here. But since I got the higher level box, it is here because the best thing of that entire box were these Caran d'Ache pastels. And in all honesty, they made the box amazing. I mean, even it got to a point where I was so excited to have orange again, and then I tried these out, and the fact that I had the color orange was no big deal to me at all. These were just such a good product. I loved having it in my box, and it just made things amazing. So, yeah. ArtSnacks is for the win this year. This month, not year. Oy. Anyway, so here are my ratings. Feel free to let me know which one you thought was the most worthwhile one. And yeah, I'm being a little bit spoiling myself, and I'm going to do one more month of 4 boxes, but probably the petite for the Paletteful Packs. So keep an eye out for those videos coming up, as well as I do more than unboxing. So keep an eye out for those videos as well. There's going to be a video coming out in which I'm going to be using these a lot more, and hopefully I won't make them disappear in a month's time. That's our goal. I want these to make it to New Year's. Hopefully I won't use them too much. Anyway, I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you next time. Bye.